Alrighty, yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. DDG94, back with another reaction video. Today we're going to react to all the time SpongeBob was on Cartoon Network. Without further ado, let's check it out.
Welcome home, Rep Pack. Marcus here, and welcome to Comfort Cartoons, the show where I collect absolutely everything from late 90s, 2000s, all the way to the modern day. And I'm also trying to create the world's biggest SpongeBob and Nickelodeon collection. And the CEO of this channel has made an appearance as an extra in the amazing world of Gumball.
I was trying to do sit-ups, but I'm too old!
But I hope you guys are having an amazing day, and if you guys are, you know the drill. Cartoon Network camera flip. It's about to get a whole lot brighter, Rep Pack, because your boy is here. And today is going to be so much fun because we are going to be covering all the different times that SpongeBob SquarePants has appeared on Cartoon Network. If you guys missed the last video, I covered all the times that SpongeBob appeared in other Nicktoons shows. So you guys go check that video down below. A lot of you guys love that video, so we're here for part 2, which is Cartoon Network. And if you guys enjoyed this video, part number 3 is going to be all the times SpongeBob appeared in Disney shows. So that way we can archive all of his appearances and other animated shows and franchises. But this is a big one because Cartoon Network has always kind of been the direct rival. You know, Disney kind of lives in a land of its own, but the main fight for the #1 cartoon channel, especially back in the day, was always between Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network. One of the earliest...
It ain't even no fucking debate, bro. And if you say it is, you a motherfucking lie, bro. Nigga. Cartoon Network washed Nickelodeon. It's not even a fucking debate. It's not a fucking debate. Cartoon Network was the superior channel. And if you say they not, you don't understand. You was SpongeBob is not it, bro. SpongeBob was not it, bro. After the 3rd season, bro, or after the movie, I should say, the first movie, SpongeBob was trash. They were putting less emphasis on Jimmy Neutron and Fairy Odd Parents. Danny Phantom, I think, got canceled. Avatar got canceled. And then they started doing like live action shows like Drake and Josh, Nez the Classified. No. You can't do live action shows. You have to show your cartoons. If we go on cartoons for cartoons, Cartoon Network is washing Nickelodeon. What do you want? You mean to tell me that SpongeBob can hold his own against Ed, and Eddie, Courage the Cowardly Dog, Johnny Bravo, Dexter's Laboratory, Powerpuff Girls, Camp Lazlo, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, Kid Next Door, Billy and Mandy, Teen Titans? Hell no. SpongeBob can't hold a bro, even the first 3 seasons of SpongeBob can't hold a candle to Cartoon Network's roster. It's not a fucking debate, bro. Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here, bro. Cartoon Network is hands down the greatest cartoon channel of all time. And if you say it's not, you sucking dick, bro.
Crossovers I think most people actually know about is when Cartoon Network actually invaded Nickelodeon with an actual ad for Cartoon Fridays.
Formula!
Hurry up! We're not even supposed to be on this channel!
Cartoon Network is...
That shit was legendary.
It actually aired right after a SpongeBob episode. As a SpongeBob credit line is coming down, you can see this advertisement come up. So that's kind of like our first collaboration where the two collide. You have SpongeBob credits along with the Cartoon Fridays ad on the right. And I figured that's the best one to start with because that was a low blow from Cartoon Network. But they made it happen, and I think it's just incredible that they were able to pull that off. And I have to give them a round of applause.
You got to. That was legendary.
So we're going to start off all the Cartoon Network shows that have referenced SpongeBob, and then we're going to work our way into Adult Swim. A lot of those are definitely a lot more racy and a lot more crude, definitely not PG-13, so some of those we're going to have to save. I'll give you a little warning when some of those ones come up. But let's go ahead and start off with Cartoon Network. And I don't think there's anywhere better to start off than the main modern show on Cartoon Network, and that is Teen Titans Go. So in Teen Titans Go, they actually did a couple. The first big one, though, I'm going to talk about is the character Dr. Light. We've got Dr. Light on screen right now, and Dr. Light is actually voiced by by our main man, Roger Bumpus, who does the voice of Squidward and also has an amazing Spongebob collection, might I add. And you can really tell that it's Roger Bumpus, especially when you just hear the character talk in a more typical fashion. Listen to his voice and tell me you don't hear the purple Dr. Fish within that character's voice as well.
This is definitely a snail. Today is the first day of the rest of my moon life.
They're almost exactly the same. But since it's voiced by Roger Bumpus, in the episode featuring Dr. Light called The Cast, Dr. Light has a plan to make a light bulb so bright and project it into the ocean that it attracts the great giant squid. And when that giant squid comes up, you can take a look at him and you can see it does have some similarities, a lot of them, to our main man, Squidward. And if you look at the eyeballs in particular, they are definitely a direct reference to Squidward. And like I said, the character that is voicing Dr. Light himself is Roger Bumpus. So I don't think there's any argument that wasn't a direct reference to our favorite underwater sponge, SpongeBob. And the next one's a little bit lighter. It's actually with the character Stinky Joe, which makes many appearances in Teen Titans Go. But in the episode BRBP Day, they're actually trying to have a party, trying to see who's the #1 party animal. And there's a scene where you can see Stinky Joe actually have some very similar shorts to a character that we know and love who happens to live under a rock. So he probably has never seen this episode or anything really, considering he lives under a rock and has a TV that comes and goes.
I want to buy your home.
What?
Lay down. And the shorts are actually an inverted design. You'll see that it's actually purple as a base and green floral pattern for the flowers on the shorts. Whereas Patrick's are the opposite, being green and purple flowers. So you could say like, oh, maybe that's not a direct reference. But if you look at Stinky Joe's hat, actually happens to be the exact same peak that our main man Patrick would have, along with having a little smiley face on the side. And if you look at it kind of with your eyes expanded, it almost kind of looks like a different world version of Patrick. Maybe that'll supposed to be his costume for the party, I don't know. But there's only one more that I can find for Teen Titans Go, and that is actually from the episode Video Game References, which that whole episode has so many references, of course, to different video games. But you have a scene where Robin actually does the classic imagination that we see SpongeBob do, and it's been memed for the last 20 years.
Imagination!
But he used it to introduce the video game title, and it didn't seem like Starfire really enjoyed the meme as much as we seem to do on this channel.
Ooh, imagination!
So the next one comes from one of my top 3 favorite shows on Cartoon Network, and that is The Amazing World of Gumball. In the episode The Dream, at the start of Gumball's dream, he actually ends up going to his locker at school. Once he opens up his locker, a flow of water starts pouring all over him, and at the end of the water pouring, he ends up with a pineapple in his hand. We happen to know a certain someone that lives in a pineapple under a sea, so I'm pretty sure that was a direct reference to SpongeBob. That one could maybe be a little bit of a stretch, but it was one of the ones that I found while researching this video, so I wanted to bring it up. And also I love The Amazing World of Gumball, so I had to mention it. Okay, so I promised you guys there would be some throwback shows on here, so here's our first one for the throwback a little bit, and that is The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. When it comes to The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, they are pretty much iconically known for their references. They've used the Flintstones before.
Oh my gosh! It can't be! An actual caveman?
They've used Scooby-Doo.
No. Down here. Thank you.
I mean, the list goes on for the different references they've used inside of Grim Adventures and Billy and Mandy. But there happens to be a character in one of the later episodes where Grim is actually on trial in the underworld, and the jury has a huge group of people, some of which actually end up beating up Grim.
This is for ruining our company,
Oh, okay, yeah.
If you look right there at the cyan green demon thing, tell me that's not SpongeBob. There's no way you can tell me that's not demon underworld
That's definitely SpongeBob.
And I'm glad we got to see that.
That's
I'm
definitely
really grateful.
SpongeBob.
I mean, I kind of want to get that character a shirt. It would just be kind of awesome. But an additional note to that is the character of Fred Burger.
I like frozen yogurt.
is voiced by C.H. Greenblatt, who, as I've talked about in the previous episode, who also made the show Harvey Beaks, happened to also work on a lot of the early episodes of SpongeBob. The fact that he's in that episode in particular, you have this demon SpongeBob, it just ties it all together so well, and I think they did an awesome job of referencing our main man. So next up is a show that has appeared on Cartoon Network and Boomerang, and that is Duck Dodgers, another really far throwback. And in the episode Fins of War, there's actually a little party going on in celebration of the different characters' culture. And there's several different sea animals you can see down there, but there's a particular sea sponge that is pretty much ruining the entire celebration if you ask the head dolphin. And here's a little clip, and you can see the sea sponge we're talking about.
You sea sponge!
The character's outfit's not SpongeBob-esque, his nose is not SpongeBob-esque, but he's got blue eyes, and I think the laugh makes it extremely obvious as a direct reference. And the whole episode is based under the sea, so you might as well take advantage of that opportunity, right? I think I'm holding up to my classic references as well, too. I told you it wasn't going to all be modern Cartoon Network. The next one is actually the Powerpuff Girls. In the episode Substitute Creatures, they actually perform a song called Keen, which is actually a song where they spell out the word Keen, which is actually the teacher's name, Mrs. Keen. And when you hear the song, particularly on the letter A, you can tell that the voice is, I don't know if it's Tom Kenny, because I couldn't find him on the actual episode list as being a voice, but it sounds exactly like SpongeBob. And if that's not enough for you, once they actually spell out the letters Keen, it's pretty much exactly the same as the iconic song from SpongeBob, Fun.
Hey, it's the kind-hearted bee, it's free and friendly. Hey, is it any
So this is going to be one of our most direct references, literally almost crossing them over into the world of SpongeBob. At least until we get into Adult Swim, there's some really deep ones. But it's actually in the show Uncle Grandpa. For those of you guys that don't remember that show because it came out too late and also wasn't on for super long, here's Uncle Grandpa.
Bread? Gotta have bread if you're making a sandwich, right? Now for the cheese.
But in the episode New Kid, there's actually a character named Tommy who is going through a daydream and starts imagining himself in different situations. In one of those situations, he actually imagines himself working at the Krusty Krab.
My grades would suffer, and I'd miss out on a college education, and end up with a crummy job and a crummy life.
And there's no way around that one. It is so apparent and so like crazy that they even went there. And so much so that you even see that they have a squid cashier, which is a green squid with one eye. It's like a total alternate universe version of Squidward. And I think it's one of my favorite ones on this list because like as a kid, I would have been flipping out to have seen that moment being a SpongeBob fan. I remember seeing the one we talked about in Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy and always telling my friends like, oh yeah, SpongeBob's there, like he's in the episode, like that's definitely him. But this one is like, I would have taken out my Motorola Razr just to take a picture of it to bring to my middle school class and show them the moment where the shows crossed over and we got to see the Krusty Krab on Cartoon Network. Only thing I think, besides the one where you mentioning Adult Swim, is probably the closest Nickelodeon invasion we're gonna get. So then after this next one, we're gonna be putting on our swim caps to hop into the pool with the old ladies and old men that are in the bumpers from the old school days of Adult Swim.
All kids out of the pool for Adult Swim.
Because we are swimming in the adult pool of Adult Swim where they have so many different references to SpongeBob. It's honestly, of my list here, 1 page is Cartoon Network, 2 pages are all of Adult Swim. But to segue us out of here, we're going to put on a couple clips from a show that I think perfectly segues the 2 time blocks on Cartoon Network, and that is the show Mad. If you guys don't know, back in the late 2000s, there was a show on Cartoon Network titled Mad, based off the Mad magazine, and that show had references to everything that was popular for kids at that time, whether it be Disney stuff like High School Musical.
He's been keeping his beautiful singing voice a secret. That's shocking!
But of course, with that, they did so many, like too many that we could not even list them all on this episode to SpongeBob. But since it's a show that's main blood thrives on references and tie-ins and stuff like that, I didn't want to give it too much of a premium spot in the video, but here is a couple times that SpongeBob was referenced or brought into the Mad TV show.
This is the best day ever. Luckily, SpongeBob can absorb anything.
And that's just a taste. There's way more out there. It's just, like I said, Mad did it so much that would have to be a video in itself. But the Mad TV show, it's like either you really hate it or you kind of love it. I don't know if there's anybody that's like, oh, that was my favorite show. So I'm not going to probably do a whole video on that. But Mad
that shit was mad annoying.
So when we get into Adult Swim, we're actually mentioning Family Guy, which is technically a Fox property, but they do air it on Adult Swim, which is a part of Cartoon Network. So the reference still counts in my book. But towards the end of this list, we're going to get into the really, really Adult Swim exclusive shows. But let's start off with Family Guy here. So first off, we have the episode Pick Up Your Ears, where Stewie has a green SpongeBob plushie that he's using as a bodyguard. Next in the episode Road to Rooper, I think is the one a lot of people could remember, and that is where Big actually uses SpongeBob as a distraction for Peter by putting on the classic Campfire Song episode.
You want to watch SpongeBob?
Yes, with apple juice.
I wish that we had enough money back in the day for one of those in-car TVs. That was my dream for about 4 years, and then they became outdated and cars didn't come with them anymore.
Hell no! If I ever give me a hold on, let me find the right song, man. Man, if I ever get my hands on a Suburban or Yukon, definitely getting the TVs in the middle, bruh. What? A Lincoln Navigator, something. Cadillac S. No, hell no, not no Cadillac S. Them shits are terrible. Them shits are terrible. But a Lincoln Navigator, a Yukon, or a Suburban, I'm definitely getting the TV on there, bro. That shit is not outdated. That shit is still player, bro. If you get a truck with the goddamn TV in the middle, I don't want to say what I'd do if I had a car like that where I had it all. I ain't gonna go into detail because I might get YouTube might come after me for that one if I bring it up. Oh man. Just know I'll do some wild ass shit if I ain't gonna talk about it.
And I also got older. I was 18 at the time. And finally, in the Inside Family Guy episode, there's actually in the background while they're on Hollywood Boulevard, you will see a SpongeBob mascot hanging out taking pictures in the background. And that's actually perfect because on Hollywood Boulevard, as somebody who lives in California, there is actually a SpongeBob mascot that you can go and take pictures with, but don't do it. It's like $40 and it's not even really SpongeBob.
I wouldn't dare go on whether I'm in New York Times Square or I'm in downtown Hollywood of California. I would never in my life take a picture with the dirty Mexicans under the not at all, bro. Not at no. I would never in my life take a picture with the dirty Mexicans under the goddamn cartoon character mascot uniform. No. Y'all can have that, bro. I'm not paying for it. I'm not doing it. No, fuck that.
Bob. I found that out like a year ago. So next up we have American Dad, another one of Seth MacFarlane's amazing shows. We have the episode Father's Day, where Stan brings home a SpongeBob cake in order to cheer everyone up.
Just pretend SpongeBob is me, and instead of having amazing adventures under the sea, he's sorry he insulted his family.
And in the episode Sense and Sensibilities, they actually use a SpongeBob pinata.
This is why I can't go pinata shopping. I just want to rescue them all.
I have a SpongeBob pinata in the collection, but I could never bring myself to hit that lovable sponge. And keeping it with the Seth MacFarlane theme here, the next show we're going to bring up is The Cleveland Show. And this one is amazing because there's actually this SpongeBob banana prize that you can win at the carnival. And that thing has a full-length story within The Cleveland Show. So in the episode Buried Pleasure, you can actually see them win the SpongeBob banana prize.
Duel fest because of my stupid mom.
And that is an iconic prize that you see at a lot of carnivals and fairs, the giant bananas. And back in the day, you'd see a lot of SpongeBobs and Scooby-Doo. So to put the SpongeBob and the banana together for a prize was just a perfect combination to be able to get the character in there and also keep it a parody. And then in the episode Gone with the Wind, you can see Cleveland riding the Ferris wheel with the very same SpongeBob banana prize. So keeping it on Fox shows that are aired on Adult Swim just for the time here,
You stretched it on that one.
who actually only has one that I could find, and that is where Khan actually says he doesn't know what kids like, and he uses SpongeBob as a diversion.
We need a diversion. Tell kids SpongeBob in front of school. I don't know what kids like.
At that time, I would have probably been a kid, but Khan, now everybody loves SpongeBob. Adults, kids, old people, kind of in the middle people like myself. So the last Fox show we're going to cover is my favorite by far, and that is Futurama, an incredible series. It's just in itself an amazing show that you have to check out. But there is a couple references to SpongeBob, but one of them is a true grail. In the episode Yo Leela Leela, she actually gets her own TV show. And her manager is a man named Abner, who's actually voiced by Tom Kenny. If you listen to his voice, you could kind of hear some of the characters you may hear in Bikini Bottom, but you can definitely hear Tom Kenny.
Tomorrow's ratings just came in from the future. We're ahead.
And he tells Layla that her show is going to be bigger than SpongeBob SquareBolts.
It's going to be bigger than SpongeBob SquareBolts.
I interfere with pacemakers.
Which is just chef's kiss when it comes to references. The fact that it's Tom Kenny, and he's also holding up a robotic SpongeBob named SpongeBob SquareBolts. The only one that I think comes close to that is, like I said, the Teen Titans one with Dr. Light. It's just so perfect. And it really just gives you a small little detail that if you're a huge fan, it's just like not most people would even realize or catch that. But if you happen to be a fan of animation as a whole and you know SpongeBob and you love Futurama, it's just a perfect love letter to the fans, and I think it's an incredible reference, and I can't wait and hope more shows do those type of things, whether it be to SpongeBob or other shows. Okay, so now let's work our way out of the Fox stuff and get into some actual Adult Swim shows.
Okay.
So this again has to be one of the deepest direct invasions of Nickelodeon on the Cartoon Network, and that is with the show Pibby. It actually hasn't come out from what I know, but they have aired trailers that are just completely trippy, and Pibby has invaded a bunch of different shows on Cartoon Network / Adult Swim. But nonetheless, in one of the trailers, there's actually a scene where you can see a bloody, beat up Pibby inside of SpongeBob's bathroom. They did not hold back at all. They didn't change the room very much. They didn't do anything really at all. It is just straight up SpongeBob's bathroom. And one of the people on the show is Dodge Greenlee, who also happened again to work on SpongeBob. So I think that's the only way they were able to maybe get away with it. You know, maybe you got to talk to a couple people and see if it was just, you know, something they could slide under the rug. But that's like as obvious as it gets. Like I said, there was the Uncle Grandpa one where he's in the Krusty Krab, but there was some obvious changes to the Krusty Krab. This is just SpongeBob's bathroom, so it's kind of incredible, and it's very recent too. So there are some old ones I showed you, some middle ground ones with the tins, and then one that is just within the last year. So it's so awesome to see SpongeBob is still ever so relevant as always, still making appearances in other TV shows and properties. Okay, now this is the final one. I'm going to give you a warning that if you guys are easily offended or you crude, you know, humor gets to you, I personally do not enjoy these that much, just because of the fact that I am a huge fan of SpongeBob, and I hate when a lot of times they use them in a disrespectful fashion like that.
Oh,
but
well,
I'm
just
also,
get to it already.
I love them, you know, so it's kind of, I probably could be easily offended by them, but I also understand that this show, that's what they do, that's the whole point of the show. So it's just like one of those things you can choose not to watch if you don't really like it. And if you do like it, the show's perfect for you. And that show is Robot Chicken.
Thank
and
you.
I do
Just
find
get to the
myself
point.
finding some stuff in Robot Chicken funny. It's just when they talk about my boy Sponge, I don't think it's so funny. But at the same time, sometimes
you are
it's okay to
sensitive,
just laugh
bro.
about certain things. But I want to give you the warning, like I said, that there is some expletive content that's going to be played right now.
Could you
Have
get
the kids
to
in the
the
room
part
or anybody who
already?
could be easily offended, like I said, you might want to change out. We'll put a timestamp on screen right now to where you can skip. But in Robot Chicken, SpongeBob has made several cameos. It's kind of similar to what I was saying with Mad. There's really too many for us to mention, but we're going to play some clips of some of the different times that SpongeBob appeared on Robot Chicken. And again, final warning, this content will be a little bit explicit. Last warning. Alright, let's go ahead and roll some of the moments.
Everyone knows Krabby Patties are a family secret recipe, boy.
Then explain this.
Okay guys, so that is a wrap for Cartoon Network. If you guys want to see me do Disney in the next episode of this 3, maybe 4 part, I don't know how many other places he's been, but 3.
Alrighty, man. I'll tell you what you is, bro. You one of them sensitive ass niggas, man. So why you watch cartoons, you collect them and shit, man. You sensitive weirdo, bro. But anyways, though, man, let's just go about do it for this one. I apologize for making y'all watch this cringe. I thought this was gonna be slick and to the point. No, we gotta sit through this cringe. I'm sorry. I committed to it. I thought that this was going to be a, you know what I'm saying, we was going to have some good stuff. No, this is one of them sensitive PG ass channels, bro. We don't do that over here. So going forward, we won't be doing any more of these over here, bro. This is... Nah, this ain't that's not what we here for. But anyway, so that's just gonna about do it for this one. Let me know what y'all think down in the comment section below. I'll get back to you today. Peace out.